Picture this, a recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
Welcome, watchers of illusion, to my castle of confusion. It's the 24th of September, and yes, I know I'm a couple of days late with this one, but never mind. Now, I did Tiny Bobble for the Amiga the other day, and I got some feedback saying you wanted to see the Spectrum version, so here it is. This was done by Firebird and Taito, I think, as well. So this was cool. But here we are, Bubble Bobble on the Spectrum, as it was, no modifications, no updates. This is it. This is Bubble Bobble, and I think it's rather sweet. Yes, this was one of the first games I think I played on the 128K, and realised that there was an absolute belting soundtrack to it, which is the arcade soundtrack, which is even better because that makes the game a lot more authentic. Now, I know I get amazed by the new games that people are bringing out, but you've got to give some props to this. You know, this wasn't an up-to-date game, this wasn't a new version of it. This is how it was when it was released. This is as pure as it gets, ladies and gents. This is an arcade conversion for the ZX Spectrum, and it's pretty fantastic, gotta say. So you've got, let's look at it from a graphical perspective. And I think it's done a pretty good bloody job, to be honest with you. Look at it. I mean, you can see that is definitely Bub. It has a two-player mode, by the way. We'll cover that in a minute. The enemies are recognisable from the arcade version. You've got the extra life thing there going on, where you pop the different bubbles with the letters in, and it makes the word extend. That's intact. All the bubble gum is there. Graphically, it's actually really quite nice. So they did a really good job of converting this to the Spectrum. I think this got a release on most major systems. I'm pretty sure, if not all of them. Each with a degree of, well, shall we say some of them weren't exactly great. Yes, C64, I'm looking at you. But, you know, I can't keep covering excellent games. I need some rubbish ones. I really do. So maybe the C64 version of Bubble Bobble will be one of those contenders, but there we are. So all the levels are intact, which is nice as well. So you're going to have an authentic arcade experience on your Spectrum, and if you'd have got this back in the day, you'd have been chuffed with it, because I know I was. And I remember the first time I saw Bubble Bobble was on an Amiga 500. No, I lie, it was on an Atari ST. That's when I first saw Bubble Bobble. But I only had a humble Spectrum at the time, so when that was released, I was fairly happy with that. And it was one of those mainstay games that that I went back to over and over again. Anyway, so you can, oh, there's Baron. Oh, he normally starts at the top of the screen. That's really annoying. But anyway, you got to see him, Baron von Blubber, who will come and kill you, or attempt to kill you if the timer runs out. So there we are. So, I mean, it's a great game. And you've got your two-player option. Yes, you do. It's two-player simultaneous on the screen at the same time with very little slowdown. What more could you ask for from a Bubble Bobble game conversion on the Spectrum? It's as complete a game as you're gonna get. And if you're a Bubble Bobble fan like me, then you're going to absolutely lap this up, especially if you're a Spectrum owner. You can see the bubble gum there. They do different jobs. I think the yellow one is speed. Then you've got pink one, which is range. And I think there's another one as well, which is like instant bubble, which is really quite cool as well. But I love the fact they've gone all out on the graphics and made them as authentic as they possibly can. And they are recognisable. And I like that. There's some good work gone into this one. Now, sound-wise, the only thing I really don't like is the jumping noise, but that's it. The rest of it's really nice. You've got the Bubble Bobble classic theme tune running throughout the game, which is really nice as well. So you've got that banging away in the background. And you know, it's cutesy. They haven't gone overboard with the AY, and I think if it had been done on the 48K chip, I think we probably would have been covering our ears. So the fact that you get the nice music on the 128K version is very nice. So bear that in mind as well. Now, gameplay. Well, it's just one of the most playable games, I think, and one of the most iconic games from the arcades that most of you should remember. If you've never played Bubble Bobble, then you need to. That's all it is. If you haven't played it, find it, play it, enjoy it. So there we are. Yes. So the idea of the game, fairly simple, is that you've got to capture all of the bad guys in bubbles and then pop them. And on the arcade, at least, you've got a bonus, I think, for them if you clump them all together. Now, I don't think the Spectrum version features that, although it might do, but it doesn't come up in big numbers on the screen to let you know that you've got a bonus. But it could be there. It could be there. So, but I think you also get better items drop as well. Now, that's another thing I liked about this game, is that you've got all the different colours of the screen. You can see the Bub actually changes colour as well. But then you've got different colours for the food and the things that drop out onto the screen. So that's another nice feature. So I think if you've got memories of Bubble Bobble, I think you're probably going to agree with me on this and say that this is actually a pretty damn good conversion. You've got most of the items from the arcade as well. I'm going to die. Oh dear me. That wasn't very good, was it? But now there we go, they've just exploded. So, and you get diamonds, yes. So some things will cause the enemies to drop better items with higher loot on them. So it's a screen by screen bubble up, shall we say, and multiplayer, and any age group really, because this is fairly simple to get to grips with. The controls are simple as well: left, right, and jump and bubble. Now, jump is done by pressing up on your joystick. So you've got the fire button free to blow lots of bubbles. So that's about it from me for today, ladies and gentlemen, but I hope you've enjoyed the review of Bubble Bobble on the ZX Spectrum. I'll be back very, very soon with a brand new review. Thanks ever so much for sticking with me and tuning in once again to the Retro Revival Show. I'll be back soon. You keep it retro, and as usual, it's bye for now.